your neighbors? Maybe I'm asking about the people who live right next door to you. If you live in a quiet little neighborhood like I do, maybe you know them. Maybe you know their names and what they do for a living. Maybe you don't know. Maybe you live in a busy, bustling city center or in an apartment and people are in and out, so you don't have a great connection with your neighbors. You know, a man asked Jesus that one time. Said, Jesus, who is my neighbor? Because he knew what God's law says. God's law says, love your neighbor as yourself. Do you love your neighbor? The man knew that he wasn't perfect at loving his neighbor. So you know what he said? Jesus, how can I tell who my neighbor is? Jesus, who is my neighbor? And Jesus told his most famous parable, one of the most famous, the parable of the Good Samaritan. It shows that to be a true loving neighbor, you have to give up everything to help even somebody you barely know. Pretty intimidating. Unless you know Jesus. Unless you know that Jesus had exactly that kind of neighbor love for you. He doesn't owe us anything, and yet he gave up everything for you and I. Jesus' love for us is what motivates us to love our neighbors, whether they live next door to us or across the country, whether we know their names or we're just getting to know them. We can learn all about loving our neighbor this week at Mount Olive. Why don't you join us in person here in the building, or you can watch online at mountoliveappleton.com. We'll see you this weekend at Mount Olive.